I'd like to call to order the joint committee hearing with the Committees on Housing and Committee on Water and Land. Today is Thursday, February 15th. It is 9 a.m. and we're in conference room 430. We have a single item on our agenda, which is HB 2007. We will just go and dive right into that. This is related to housing. Vice Chair for the testimony.
Dean Minakani, HHFDC in support. Curtis Lum. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Curtis Lum, DPP in opposition. Damian Waikolo, Hawaii Yembi in support. Joshua Hayashi, Mission Management Company in support. David Oyadamari, Mission Management Company in support. Ted, you want to go?
So I'll stand on my testimony.
Okay, thanks. Arjuna Haim, Hawaii Appleseed. Rainey Mao, individual in support. Reverend Janie Thompson, individual in support. Neil McPherson, individual in support. Makana Milota, individual in support. Warren Ori Casa, individual in support. Anyone else wishing to testify on this matter? HB 2007. Chair seeing none.
Members, any questions for the testifiers? No questions.
Well, what do you really got?
The one that matters is
Okay, let's recess really briefly for decision making. Reconvening the 9 o'clock committee hearing with the Joint Committees on Housing and Water and Land. We have decision making on a single item, which is HB 2007 HD1 related to housing. Just a couple of notes on this bill. One, this is the short form, which we have now heard. This is actually our third time, kind of technically. We deferred the bill originally because there was a title issue. Then we adopted the short form where we discussed some amendments to that short form, which we adopted on that first reading, and now this is our third time hearing this bill. So process-wise, this bill has gone through a number of hearings in this committee, and from here it will go on to another committee. We have had good testimony on this, though I think the planning departments and in private conversations with the planning departments have raised a number of, I think, valid concerns around some potential issues, right? I think conceptually everybody's on board with the idea that in a lot of instances it would be useful for churches and medical institutions and educational institutions to have the capacity to build more housing. But by giving entitlements to these folks could become problematic in some certain cases. And so I recommend that we try and narrow this down a little bit to avoid potential for abuse. And so I have a number of potential recommendations here. One is that the property has to be owned by the institution before January 1st, 2024. This is to ensure that we're not sort of creating speculation where people are buying up properties and then becoming churches or other institutions just to get the entitlements. 2, we'll add a sunset date to it of January 1st, 2034. And if it's working, hopefully at that time, then we can just re-extend it, but at least it gives us a clear end date. The dwelling units will have to be used for either homeless services or long-term rentals as defined by each county. This is to ensure that there's not different types of transient use happening in these units. The density shall not apply to industrial areas, hazardous areas, areas within the SMA, the special management area, or areas zoned for 1 primary unit or less per acre. This is to ensure that the county still have the capacity to zone for, open space or preservation purposes within the urban state land use district. We're going to add to the definition of medical institution to ensure that those institutions hold a certificate of need to ensure that these are legitimate medical institutions and that somebody couldn't open a yoga studio and then get a whole bunch of density with that yoga studio. And then lastly, to remove the language in the bill around the requirement that these be ministerial permits. So all the language around not allowing special use permits, conditional permits, and other non-ministerial review will be removed, and then the counties can figure out implementation on their own and possibly apply a special use permit if they need to. Those are my recommendations, and members, Housing Committee members, there already is an effect, yeah. Housing Committee members, questions or comments? Vice Chair, you.
Chair, I really appreciate all the work you did on this. It's a lot of good evolution from the original form of this bill, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Awesome. And Alderman Chair, I appreciate that work too.
All right, Vice Chair for the vote.
Members voting on HB 2007 HD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Kila is excused. Representative Kitagawa is excused. Representative Miyake.
Aye.
Representative Onishi.
Aye.
Representative Todd.
Aye.
Representative Matsumoto.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Waterline Committee members, same recommendation. Any discussion? Vice Chair, House Draft 1, or 2? 2. House Draft 2.
Okay. Voting on HB 2007, House Draft 2, with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Chun. Aye. Representative Ganaden. Excused. Representative Hashem. Excused. Representative Mizuno.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Takayama. Excused. Representative Souza.
Aye.
Recommendation adopted.
Great. Seeing no further business, this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.